We're going to show you the simplest way to make a lemon meringue pie that's as delicious as they get. Lemon meringue pie is the perfect combination of tart and sweet. These are the ingredients we'll use. Plus, of course, the pie crust. Zest 2 lemons. Be sure to wash them well first. Try to avoid getting any of the white part, as it's very bitter. The zest adds loads of flavor to the pie, so don't skip this step. Squeeze out the juice of the same lemons, plus the juice of 2 or 3 more. You'll need 3/4 cup, or 180 milliliters. Strain the juice to remove the seeds. Tap it lightly to get it all. Lemon meringue pie with seeds is not fun. Scoop out 1/2 teaspoon of the juice and put it aside. You'll need it later. Now it's time to separate the egg whites from the yolks. You'll need 3 bowls. Crack an egg into the first bowl. We do this so that if it breaks, you can take out any pieces of shell. Or, if the yolk breaks, you can start again with a new egg. With a clean hand, gently lift the yolk out, letting the egg white slide through your fingers. Shake it a little bit to help it along. Place the yolks into the middle bowl and add the egg white into the third bowl. Do this with 5 eggs. Now is a good time to cube your butter and listen to Sam Fender. Now we'll make the lemon custard. Add water to a medium-sized pot. Add the lemon juice and sugar. We like to keep the sugar fairly minimal. Some people add more. The meringue will be sweet, so this is the perfect amount to have a pie that is both tangy and sweet. Add the lemon zest and the cornstarch. Tap the dish to get any that sticks. Add a pinch of salt and whisk well to get rid of any lumps of cornstarch. Place the pot on medium heat and bring to a boil, whisking constantly so the liquid thickens evenly. When bubbles start forming, take the pot off the heat. Add the egg yolks to a small bowl and whisk. Scoop about 5 tablespoons of the hot liquid into the egg yolks, 1 spoon at a time, whisking constantly, like this. This step is called tempering the yolks. Doing it this way prevents the yolks from starting to cook. Now slowly pour the egg yolk mixture from the bowl into the pot, whisking as you pour. Return the pot to the stove and cook on medium heat until the mixture starts to bubble. When it does, remove from the heat. Now we'll add the butter we cubed in advance. Add a few pieces at a time, whisking after each time. The butter will melt into the custard as you whisk. You want a consistency like this. It's fine to lick your finger. We're not watching you, you're watching us. Now for the pie crust. We made our pie crust, but you can also buy a pre-made crust and bake it, or buy a crust that has been pre-baked. Just follow the instructions on the package. If you're going to make your own pie crust, make it first. You can skip to how to make it at this point in our video. Pour the lemon filling into the baked pie crust while the custard is still hot. Make sure to get every bit of it. Now let's make the easiest meringue, the French one. Did you know there's also Swiss meringue and Italian meringue? Add the egg whites to a large bowl. Now add the 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice you set aside. You can whip the egg whites with beaters or by hand. If you're doing it by hand, you'll need to work hard. It will take a while. Many recipes call for cream of tartar, but we know it's not something most people have on hand, and the lemon juice works just as well. Beat until you have soft peaks. Then add a spoonful of sugar at a time, sprinkling the sugar around and beating after each spoonful. If you add all the sugar at the same time, it will deflate the egg white. This way, the sugar dissolves evenly throughout the egg white. If you're finding our video on making lemon meringue pie useful, please help us out and subscribe to our channel. You'll need to beat for about 10 minutes after you start adding the sugar. If you're doing it by hand, write us a comment and let us know how long it took. You know you're done when the meringue is very dense, and when you rub it with your fingers, you don't feel any grains of sugar. While the custard is still warm, gently add the meringue on top, taking care not to press down too hard. Look at those billowy clouds of meringue. Spread them all over to cover all the filling. The meringue should touch the crust, because when you bake it, it shrinks a little. Shape it the way you like. Messy looks nice. Bake in a preheated oven for 10 to 15 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or until the meringue is nicely browned. After you take out the pie, let it cool at room temperature for an hour, then refrigerate it for at least 4 hours before serving. Slice this heavenly tangy dessert and savor every bite. But wait, there's more! Stay tuned if you're making your own pie crust. This buttery flaky pie crust is perfect for any kind of pie. We are using cold butter because it has the best flavor. You'll need 227 grams, or 1 cup, which is about half a pound. Slice the butter into small cubes, about 1 centimeter in size. While you're preparing the other ingredients, freeze the cubes for about 5 minutes. Measure out 313 grams of all-purpose flour. This is about 2.5 cups. Some people use pastry flour instead of all-purpose flour, but that's too specialized for us. It's not necessary. You get a similar result when you sift all-purpose flour, but you really should sift it. Add a half teaspoon of table salt and mix well. Now add the cold cubes of butter directly from the freezer. Break them apart with your fingers. Mix a little to coat the butter with flour. Now press the butter with your fingers a little at a time, like this, until you've done this with all the butter. It won't take long, just a minute or two. After doing this, you'll have a crumbly mixture of flour with small pea-sized lumps of butter, like this. Now add ice cubes to a small bowl of water. To get the right texture for your pie crust, it's very important that the butter and water be cold. When the water is very cold, add 3 tablespoons and mix with your hands. You want the dough to just barely hold together, without being too sticky. Until the dough holds together, add more cold water, 1 tablespoon at a time. You'll get the right texture eventually. If you accidentally add too much water, you can add a little flour. When you get a texture like this, transfer to your countertop and press together to form a rough ball. Pat down the ball to make a disc and cut in half. Make each half into a ball. Then pat down to form a disc. You'll use 1 disc for your pie. The other can be for a second pie or for decorations for the top of your pie. Wrap the discs so that there is no air inside, then refrigerate for at least an hour. If you leave the dough in the fridge for longer than an hour, then you need to let it sit at room temperature for at least an hour afterwards. Otherwise, it will be too hard to work with.
You see? It's too hard.
We're using a 9-inch pie plate. Grease the plate with melted butter. Sprinkle some flour on the bottom, then shake it to distribute the flour into a thin layer. Pour out any excess flour and distribute it on the counter, adding a little if you need to. It's time to work the dough. Place the disc on the counter, then flip and add flour to the top of the disc so that both sides are covered. Pat down to flatten, then add some flour to your rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a wine bottle. Roll upwards, then flip the dough around and roll upwards again. This is to form a circle that will line the inside of your pie plate. Sprinkle more flour, then roll again to prevent the dough from sticking. In our case, we're aiming for a 12-inch circle about 3 to 4 millimeters thick, since our plate is 9 inches. Fold the top of the circle down over the bottom and let go. Don't press down. Fold across, then gently place in the pie plate. The corner should be placed in the center of the pie plate. Now gently unfold the crust. This is where it gets really fun. Don't worry if it breaks. You can patch it up. As gently as you can, fit the circle so it lines the pie dish without pulling too hard on the dough. Now press in firmly but gently. Now this pie gets a haircut. Trim along the edges, leaving about a ½ inch hanging over the side. Now it's time to put your puzzle skills to work. Take the trimmings from the side and use them to fill any gaps along the edge or any rips inside. With your thumbs, tuck the dough under bit by bit until you've done the whole pie. Now let's make it pretty and add some ruffles, like this. It only takes a minute, but it makes your pie a work of art. Pierce the bottom of the crust with a fork to prevent air bubbles from forming when the pie bakes. Freeze the crust for at least an hour. Preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. We are going to blind bake the crust. This step is very important. It's to maintain the structure of the pie crust once the filling is added. Crumple the piece of paper first, as it makes it easier to maneuver it to line the crust. Do this right away while the crust is still frozen. Now we add a piece of aluminum foil on top of the parchment paper. This is to ensure the walls of the pie keep their shape. Now add dried beans. We have a stash of yellow peas that we only use for blind baking. Bake for 15 minutes. While the crust is blind baking, make an egg wash. Whisk an egg, then add a teaspoon of water and mix again. Take out the crust and remove the beans and lining. The crust isn't completely cooked yet, but the shape is set. If you find our video helpful, please help us by liking it and subscribing to our channel. Now we do an egg wash to seal the surface of the pie shell and to give the crust a nice golden color. Spread the egg evenly over the crust with a brush. Reduce the oven temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and put in the pie crust. Bake for 10 to 15 minutes or until the crust is golden. Store your dried beans for the next time you need them. The pie crust is perfect, ready for whatever filling you want to add. This crust works for sweet pies, but it's also perfect for savory pies and quiches. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, we think you'll like this one too.